Historical Reconstruction of Aryan X. Episode 50. The Rebellion of Hwangje Heonwon. The First Coup d'etat in the Age of Theocratic Unity. After Vairocana Buddha gave birth to Buddhism in Central Asia around 3897 BC, a society of theocratic unity, where the Buddha directly governed, continued. To alleviate the burden of governance from the Buddha, the Samhwang, who were non-king political agents authorized by the Buddha, emerged. The succession of the Buddha continued through generations, leading to the era of the 14th Buddha, Chiwu, also known as Zhaoji Huaneng, BC 2706. It is said that the place where the Buddha and the Samhwang, the non-king political agents, resided was Seoul, the spiritual center, the soul, of the entire world, the very place where the heavens opened. At this time, a figure named Hwangje Heonwon appears in the history of China. However, we must first clarify the titles used to refer to the emperor. Another term for the king, Chanja, in the age of the separation of religion and politics, is Hwangje, as an emperor. This title, Hwangje, was created by combining the character Hwang from the Samhwang of the Theocratic Unity era and Je from the Oje. The key to unlocking the historical truth lies right here. However, in current history, Hwangje Heonwon is sometimes included among the Samhwang. This is a deliberate act to obscure the truth of history. Please take a close look at the Hanja character Hwang in Hwangje Heonwon, who initiated the first coup d'etat in human history. This character Hwang means the color yellow. The Hwangje, who is the Chanja, is written with this character. The Hwang in Hwangje Heonwon and the Hwang in the Hwangje, the Chanja, are characters with entirely different meanings. Hanja are ideograms, where the character itself signifies its meaning. Hwangje Heonwon, the protagonist of humanity's first coup, was a feudal lord who received the land of Hwang as his fiefdom. He was a subordinate to the Samhwang, the non-king political agents. Now, let's examine how the first coup d'etat in the Age of Theocratic Unity occurred. In the map of Turkmenistan in Central Asia that you are viewing, it is said that the great Dharmasi of the successive Buddha and the Samhwang were located in Seoul, the soul and spiritual center of the world, the land where the heavens opened. The fiefdom of Hwang, belonging to Hwangje Heonwon, who started the first coup in human history, was located on a plain surrounded by 3 mountains in the center. It has been said that this place would later become the historical China, where the castle of the emperor, the Chanja, would be located. History was fabricated to claim that Heonwon, the instigator of the first coup, attacked Yumje Sinnongsi of the Samhwang and the Buddha, Chiwu, heavenly king. Let's first look at the historical timelines. Among the Samhwang, Taiho Bakusi lived from around 3528 BC to 3413 BC, and Yumje Sinnong lived from around 3218 BC to 3017 BC. And Heonwon, who initiated the coup, lived from around 2692 BC to 2593 BC. Yumje Sinnong was a figure from 3218 BC to 3017 BC, while Heonwon was from 2692 BC to 2593 BC. There is a chronological gap of about 400 years between Yumje Sinnong of the Samhwang and the feudal lord Heonwon, who are said to have fought each other. This means that the opponent Heonwon fought was not Yumje Sinnong himself, but his descendants who had inherited his position through a succession ceremony. First and foremost, the timelines of the Samhwang, the supposed opponents of Heonwon, who is claimed to be the origin of China's history, do not match. Furthermore, in the currently fabricated history of China, it is recorded that Heonwon, who is presented as the beginning of Chinese history, won the war and killed the Buddha. However, in Korean history, it is stated that the Buddha suppressed and defeated Heonwon's coup. This means the histories of China and Korea record opposite outcomes. Let us compare these accounts. In Chinese history, it is written, Hwangje Heonwon was a descendant of Sojong, his family name was Gongsun, and his given name was Heonwon. During Heonwon's time, Sinnongsi of the Samhwang had weakened, and the feudal lords invaded and oppressed the people, but Sinnongsi was unable to subdue them. Heonwon cultivated virtue and organized his army. He managed the energies of the 5 directions,
planted the 5 grains, and cared for the people. He surveyed the 4 directions. He tamed bears, great bears, bihu, wolves, and tigers. And after fighting Hwangje 3 times in the fields of Panchen, he achieved his goal. When the Buddha Chiwu disobeyed the Hwangje's command and started a rebellion, the Hwangje summoned the armies of the feudal lords, fought the Buddha Chiwu in the fields of Tanlak, and finally captured and killed the Buddha Chiwu. It appears that Heonwon, the leader of the coup, assassinated Hwangje Sinnung, the representative of the Buddha and the Buddha himself. However, a completely opposite result is recorded in another Korean history book. I quote, quoting the Samsunggi of the Hwangdangogi, "The Buddha Chiwu, seeing the nation of Hwangje Sinnung, the non-king of the Samhwang, weakening, held a grand ambition, raised a heavenly army from the west, and personally advanced to Sekto, stationing his forces between the Hoisu and Daisan. When the feudal lord Heonwon rose up, he went directly to the fields of Tanlak, captured Heonwon, and made him his subject. Later, he dispatched the 5 generals to attack Goshen in the west and achieve great merit." In Korean history books, it is stated that Heonwon, who started the coup, was captured by the Buddha and became his subject. However, if Heonwon had assassinated Hwangje Sinnung and the Buddha as Chinese history claims, the history of the Scythian Aryans in Central Asia would have ended there. The fact that the system continued to be passed down even after that event indicates that the current history of China has been falsely recorded for the purpose of historical manipulation. So, why does history designate the Samhwang and the Samje, both non-king agents of the Buddha during the Theocratic Unity era, with separate titles? First, let's compare their timelines. Comparing the timelines of the Samhwang and the Samje, Hwangje Sinnung of the Samhwang lived from around 3218 BC to 3017 BC. Heonwon, who led the coup, lived from around 2692 BC to 2593 BC. And Soho Gumchen, the beginning of the Samje, lived from around 2598 BC to 2514 BC. The timeline of Heonwon, the leader of the coup, is recorded precisely between the timelines of the Samhwang and the Samje, who were the non-kings of the Buddha during the Theocratic Unity era. We will reveal the truth that this change from Samhwang to Samje occurred because the Buddha suppressed the coup that arose during the Samhwang era and subsequently governed the nation under a new political system. First, what you must remember is that the place where the Buddha, the highest elder of the Scythian Aryans in Central Asia, and the non-king Samhwang were located in Seoul, where the great Dharma Sea that opened the heavens was located around 3897 BC. And the fiefdom of Heonwon, who led the coup, was on a plain surrounded by 3 mountains in the central region of 5 peaks. It was also said that this flat area would later become the central country in history, China, where the castle of the emperor would be located after the separation of religion and politics. You must understand this accurately to know why the era of the Samje emerged after the era of the Samhwang. Additionally, please note that in current Korean geographical records, the historical name for Seoul is recorded as Hwangdo, the imperial capital where the Samhwang resided. Furthermore, please keep in mind that the 25 histories of China currently being discussed is not the history of one specific country, but the common history of all Scythian Aryans worldwide. This history is also the history of everyone watching these videos. In the next episode, we will reveal the truth about why the title of Samje appeared after Heonwon's coup in the era of the Samhwang. We sincerely hope that you will contact many people and join us for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The heavens and the earth will tremble. The subtitles can be translated into the language of each country, so please make use of this feature. If there are any issues, please contact us via comments or Google Mail. The Google Mail address is aryanrealhistory@gmail.com. The YouTube video address is Historical Reconstruction of Aryan or History Restoration of Aryan. Your subscriptions and likes are a representation of your conscience and passion for the truth, so please do not forget them.